Hey there everyone, welcome back to Dan Cave and welcome to another video build, and this time it's the Valom 1/72 scale Avro Anson C.19. So, but with a twist. So this is going to be done as an Irish Aer-Chór aircraft, serial number 141, which, although it was an Avro Anson C.19, it actually had wings from a Mark 1, basically. So this is a bit of a kit bash. This is grabbing some wings from an old Airfix kit, Mark 1, chopping off some of the bits from the C19 from Valom and adding on the wings and trying to fill it and get it together and make it into a reasonable looking Avro Anson C19. So that's the plan. That's what we're going to go forward with. So aircraft 141, preserved, and it's currently preserved at the Irish Aer-Chór Museum in Baldonnel in Dublin in Ireland. So much of the research came from pictures I had of that, certainly in terms of how it goes together and how I intend to make it look. So, and the decals come from Max Decals. So Joe's done a fantastic set of decals once again, and they'll be used for this Avro Anson. So if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like the video. Feel free to leave a comment down below, but let's pop on over to the bench and see how this build has gone together. So as is usual, I'll be back at the end for some final thoughts. Over we go. So let's get cracking with this Valom kit. So Valom short run kit, got some decals from Max Decals, and I have the Airfix original Anson Mark 1, and I'm going to steal the wings from it. So there's lots of debates raging on various forums discussing the accuracy and lack of accuracy. For me, the Mark 1 wings from the Airfix kit were probably the closest that I could see to what was needed. The special hobby wings definitely seem to have some differences, so I chose to use these wings. There is a core difference which I will address during the filling stage, but ultimately I'm using the Airfix wings as a template to identify where I need to cut the bottom section for this kit, because I still need the lower section from the Valom kit. So here I am, did quite a coarse Tamiya saw, just basically sawing the wings off both sides, and that center section is the bit that will remain, and that's where I'll have to try and mate the Airfix wings to this section. So using a coarse sander on my rotary tool just to try and knock back the large amount of plastic, beginning to get a rough shape of where these things will go. There's of course going to be some shortfall in the cord at the back end that'll get blended in with some filler. So once I'm happy with the wings and the shape, time to get working on the interior, adding in the seats, the control panel, instrument control column rather, instrument panels. Not a hugely detailed interior. The plastic windows are fairly blurry looking. You're not going to see a lot of detail, but you want something that looks relatively okay. So, but nonetheless, there's plenty of cleanup, plenty of edges need a little bit of filing just to get them nice and sharp. And it's a case of starting to prime all those interior parts with some UMP grey primer. A couple of coats being laid down, and then most of the detail work will be picked out using some brush paints. So the interior struts, I think they were painted interior green. A lot of the interior on this aircraft was grey anyway, so I'm just going to use the UMP grey primer as a base and then paint things like the seats black, etc., using a little bit of brush painting, which is always enjoyable to do. As you can see on the interior, they do represent that center spar running through the interior of the airplane. So before we can button up the fuselage, I want to get the clear parts in place. So they're popped in place, a little bit of Tamiya extra thin is just run around the outside, and that will seal them in place absolutely fine. And they'll be masked for the extensive painting process later. So I've added some masking tape seat belts, again, just to bring out a little bit of visual difference when looked through the windows. You're not going to see much detail through those glass parts, through those clear parts rather. But you just want enough just to give you a hint of what's on the inside. So getting the roof lights lined up so I can get the fuselage together. Once again, Tamiya Extra Thin is my adhesive of choice in this case. And then once that's fully cured, I'm going back in with my D-Spay reciprocating sander, which I do find quite useful. And then of course using my UMP sanders as well to knock back that seam line to something that is reasonably okay. Now, even after sanding, there is a little bit of a gap still remaining, so I'm going to use some sprue goo, which I've made up ages ago, which still sits in a bottle. It's just yellow polystyrene mixed with some Tamiya Extra Thin, and it makes a nice filler base. So once that's cured, that's sanded back, and now we can get working on the wings. Wings are glued together, ailerons are put in place, and then just to add a little bit of strength, I'm going to use some styrene rod to act as some locating pins for those wings. So they're popped in place on the fuselage. And then I'm going to mark them out where they need to go on the wing box sections and the outer wings. Drill them out. And then use them as a guide to locate the wings. Now, because the wing and the fuselage are not going to mate absolutely perfectly, these extra pins do add a lot of strength. And once again, it's Tamiya Extra Thin glue for gluing them in place. So once they've been set and cured for a while, checked all my angles, checked my dihedral, I'm reasonably happy with the planform layout. And then it's a case of going back in with lots of Humbrol filler in this case. Worked into those gaps between the wing and fuselage. Trying to make up any steps that are there. Try and also blend in that root fillet as well. And then once that's fully cured, using a combination of UMP thinny sticks, sanders, and a reciprocating sander as well to get into some of the more awkward places. And knocking that filler all the way back down. Getting into the actual wing root fillet can be quite difficult, but I tend to roll up some sandpaper and that does the job absolutely perfectly. And then I can just go ahead, once I'm happy with that, start adding the remaining parts, clear parts, horizontal tail plane. Now it's time to get this kit over to its first coat of primer. So as you can see, all the clear parts have been masked up. Engines have been masked up as well. I'm just laying down some UMP black just to act as a base coat, primer coat. Also helps me visualize where there's any issues with the kit, if there's any further filling needs to be done. So this is not going to be the final primer coat because I can already see there's a couple of areas that I need to fill. And once I've knocked them back a little bit with some sandpaper, it's back in with the Humbrol filler once again. So it's the same process, add the filler, let it cure, sand it back. Once again using a combination of the UMP thinny sticks, UMP sanders, and this D-Spay reciprocating sander. So even with its most coarse grit, I do find that it's actually nowhere near as aggressive as I thought it would be, and actually is a very, very valuable tool in terms of managing that sanding process. But all it does is just complement the sanding sticks that I already use. So, final primer coat is going to be UMP Gloss Black. I'm going for a metallic finish. Again, just laying down 2 to 3 coats of this gloss black. cover up all those sanded areas. Great coverage from the UMP black. And then once I'm happy, I'm using one of the Alclad aluminium colours to act as my kind of major base coat for most of the airframe. Or in this case, I'm actually using one of the polished aluminiums for the engines, which I'll then mask up to do the remainders. So yeah, as you can see, I've done the engines and nose, got a polished aluminium finish. That's all then been masked up. I'm going to use a semi-matte aluminium for mainly the wings and fuselage. And with the Alclads, they go down absolutely brilliantly. They can be somewhat fragile, but I think as long as you minimize the handling, they are actually excellent metallic paints. Always been quite impressed with the finish I get from these Alclads. Although A-stand, as they're known when I bought them. So just to check over if how that final finish is done, I'm reasonably happy with that. And I'm going to use some slightly different tones again for the control surfaces, for the like of the ailerons. Once again, masking the areas off. And then for the flaps on the underside as well. And then there's a little bit of black paint, then used for the anti-glare panel on the nose. Once again, masked off. I think I'm using Revell matte black, possibly. Mixed with UMP thinners. And then once all that paint is fully cured, it's time to crack on with the decals from this Max Decals set. So usual process, warm water, going to use some UMP decal solutions. I think I'm just using the UMP normal on this particular kit. These decals are very fine, they go down very, very easily, and there's not a huge amount of surface detail for them to conform to. But it's the usual process. Get them in warm water, get them located on the model, remove any excess, and as you can see, I've speeded up the footage once again. So we can just follow that through to the end. Irish Aer-Chór roundels, just checking to make sure they're in the same place, left and right. And then squeezing out any excess, getting some decal solutions on. Checking their location, making sure everything goes down really well. There's not a huge amount of decals for this kit, but they do go down absolutely perfectly. So I'm just doing my final checks on all the decals that I've got down. Make sure there's a little bit of UMP solutions on them. Make sure any excess liquid, of course, is removed as well. And then it's a final tidy up. And then I can leave those decals to fully cure. And meanwhile, I can crack on with things like the undercarriage, wheels, propellers, all that kind of stuff. That's going to go on the exterior of the kit. So once again, using a variety of Alclad / A-stand metallics. So they can be set aside to cure. Meanwhile, I can start remove some of the masking from the kit itself. So all these windows are masked very early on. I used some latex liquid mask for the round windows. And then just used Tamiya masking tape for the main screen areas. So a little bit of CA glue to assemble the wheels and the main undercarriage. It's not brilliantly represented in this, I suppose, in these Airfix wings. So the engines also come from the Airfix kit. It's not perfect, it's not brilliantly represented, but it does go together okay. I think it maybe sits a little bit low when it's on its wheels, but nonetheless, it's what we've got in the kit. So once all that's together, I'm using some UMP light dirt just to add a little bit of panel detail, just to highlight any of the recessed areas. Not going overboard. I didn't want this as a particularly dirty aircraft. I just wanted more like, I suppose, how it looks in the images from where it is in the museum, which obviously is a relatively clean aircraft. So the panel wash is just to accentuate the lines rather than make it look particularly dirty or used. But nonetheless, water-based washes, wipe them on, let them dry, use a little bit of clean water and some cotton buds and some kitchen roll just to remove any excess, clean it down. And then the very last step is the addition of the aerial wire, which runs from just at the back of the cockpit all the way back to the vertical tail plane. And once that's nicely put in place, a little bit of CA glue, any excess is trimmed off. And that is basically it for this kit. So I am happy with the outcome. I think there are a few areas where, I think maybe the contrast on the metallics could be a little bit too much in places, but I did enjoy it. I am happy with the finish. It's on the shelf. So let's head back to me for some final thoughts. So there we go. That's the Valom 1/72 scale Avro Anson C.19 kit bashed together with some wings from Mark 1 from Airfix. So, usual challenges with short run kits, lots of filling. Then, of course, you go and chop the wings off and replace them with some different wings, and that gives you some additional challenges in terms of filling and blending things in. So I think it's gone together reasonably well. I think my contrast on the metallic paints could have been a little bit better. I think the really shiny, highly polished aluminium on the engines and nose is maybe a little bit overly contrasting with the rest of it. But again, I quite like how it finished up as well. It was an enjoyable kit. For a short run kit, went together reasonably well actually, even with the modification. So, filling, sanding, that's basic modelling skills, so nothing too out of the ordinary there. So yeah, so if you like the video, give it a like. Please subscribe as well if you're not a subscriber, and feel free to leave a comment down below. So thank you for watching. Thank you for bearing with me. Catch you all later. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. Bye bye.